Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaveryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The dilemma that Arjuna was placed in is, should I plunge into action or should I study the scriptures? Am I to go introvert and study the Shastras or merely plunge into action? Because all along, if you had followed right from the second chapter, you would find Krishna blowing hot and cold. At one time he talks about the glory of action, another time the glory of knowledge. So Arjuna is confused. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita starts here, I would say. The real message for the layman starts here, though there are brilliant passages in the second chapter. Now what has happened is, the great warrior Arjuna, as you all know, collapsed on the field. He could not face the situation. So he was overwhelmed with emotion. When you are overwhelmed with emotion, you can't think properly. If you can't think properly, you can't act. So, it is important that you keep cool before you want to act. Now, Arjuna was in no condition to think and much less to act. So this was the situation. He had laid down the bow and arrow and he told Krishna, look, I'm completely confused and confounded. My knees are knocking. My mouth is parched. My head is spinning. This is what he's saying. Now I don't know what to do, what not to do. Please guide me. This is the situation. This was the condition of Arjuna. Secondly, Arjuna had no idea of what Krishna is capable of. That he was a giant intellect. He had no idea. He was only a childhood friend. According to Arjuna, is a childhood friend. And once you have a childhood friend, if you read the life of Mahatmas, their own home, when they go to their villages and homes, nobody recognizes their greatness. Not that they want to be recognized, but to them is our old, friend or acquaintance. In fact, I have lived my younger days, college days in Madras. Even now, next month I'll be in Madras. Even now when I go, some of my old friends who don't attend lectures, they say, yeah, Pacha, I believe you are giving some talks and all that. What is it about? Napa, nanmo pesriyama. Enna pesara? No, that's not the time for me to say, Om, Sahana, Vavatu, Sahana, and start lecturing to my friends. It goes on, taking it as a hobby. I just change the subject because they're not ready to listen. They're not geared to listen. They're just friends, I believe there's a big following and all that. Once you start talking, people always listen, I just push it. See, your hometown again, Krishna to Arjuna was a friend. He didn't know. So, and Krishna understood the importance of delivering the message for him. He has to rehabilitate him. He is the main commander. If Arjuna doesn't lead, the army will collapse. So it is important that he educates Arjuna, and he is no condition to. So therefore, what he did is, that this is the genius of the master. He blasted in the second chapter the highest philosophy. When Arjuna was no condition to understand the basics, he blasted him with the highest philosophy. Now, if you carefully read the Bhagavad Gita, you'll be wondering, how can he give such a message? So, one of the longest chapters is the second chapter, 72 verses. In fact, the longest is 18th chapter, which has 78 verses. 72 verses. He blasted him with the highest philosophy. So, towards the end, Arjuna asks, he woke up from his slumber. It is like beating him up, with a stick till he woke up. And then he asks a ridiculous question in the context. It's a brilliant question for all of us. He's asking Arjuna in the 54th verse of chapter 2, what is the way a self-realized person functions? Krishna, please will you tell me, how does an enlightened person function in this world? Normally, interpreters say, what a brilliant question Arjuna asked. But if you carefully analyze, two armies are posed on either side. The bugle has gone, the battle is supposed to have started. Here is the great hero lying down on the ground with his bow and arrow shattered, and he is asking then, what is the life of an enlightened person? Do you see the absurdity of the question, the context? He is not in an ashram in the Himalayas asking what is the Siddha progeny. Two armies are, this is not the time. Therefore, Krishna understood he is only partially woke up. At least he is asking. So he blasted him with the highest philosophy again. The Sthita Prajna portion, 55 to 72, is one of the most brilliant portions. This is all for us, not for Arjuna. After hearing that, he is asking this question, am I to act? Am I to study? Are you all? Now Krishna knew that he is awakened. He is asking the right question. He is asking now, am I to fight, or shall we go back and learn the scriptures? Do you see the context? So in those 72 verses, what he has done is, number one, woken him up from his slumber, is completely devastated. He rehabilitated him. Number two, Arjuna suddenly understood, my God, this man knows a lot. Otherwise, he was just a friend. He is not going to listen to a friend. And so he made him understand that he's got a lot to contribute. Though, in fact, Arjuna wouldn't have understood a word. The whole second chapter is over his head. But he did it only to indicate to him that he has somebody to listen to. And once he knew that Arjuna was ready, with the confidence that Krishna can deliver and the mind relatively calm, he gives out the message. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita actually, I would say, starts here. From the third verse, Krishna starts, because he is confused and confounded. Am I to act? Am I to study, gain knowledge? Then to which he started, Loke smant vividanishta pura prokta mayanaga. From the very beginning, I have given two paths. The path of action to active people, the path of knowledge to introvert people, to intellectuals. So to him, he says, As far as you're concerned, you've got to plunge into action. So in the last verse that we concluded, he says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jahyoya karmana. You must perform your niyatam karma, your routine duties, your obligatory functions. Now, what he's going to highlight in the rest of the verses, especially the last few verses, he tells Arjuna that most people, if not all, work on likes and dislikes. They function on likes and dislikes. You are doing what you like to do and avoiding what you don't like to do. In fact, you must learn to do what you ought to do, not what you like to do. So you're brought up like this by yourself, by your parents, by your well-wishers, by your educators. You're doing what you like. What you like to do could be deadly. So you must perform your obligatory duties and responsibilities. Niyatam karma. And even to maintain your body, you will have to keep acting. Otherwise, you are in trouble. So, continue, 9th verse. This world, ayam lokaha, this world is bound by action other than those performed for the sake of yajna. I'll come back to it. I'm translating. O Kaunteya, Arjuna, therefore you must perform actions for the sake of yajna, for that sake, free from attachment. The word yajna, throughout the Gita, throughout the 3rd chapter, is going to use it. In fact, the whole Gita is about yajna. Yajna literally means fire worship, what we call as havan. You offer ahuti, means grains or ghee in the fire, and the fire shoots up and blesses you, fire god. So you are only invoking the Lord by offering ahuti to the fire. This is the ritual. A kund means a brick walled trough is made where fire is invoked. So all the participants of the ritual offer grains, and the pandits are chanting, and we go and offer the grains. The fire is completely burnt out after all the fuel is gone, and that vibhuti means that ash, is distributed to all the participants, and they take it in 3 stripes on the forehead. And usually yajnas are conducted near a temple. So they enter the temple. The ritual is complete. After that they go home or wherever they want to go. Now friends, this is followed till today. Everybody does the fire worship. And neither the priests nor the followers have any concept of what they are doing. You don't ask the priest because he has no clue. When you go to Tirupati or any temple, you buy a coconut and the fellow, the priest breaks the coconut. Neither you nor the priest understand why you are breaking the coconut. Some of the intelligent people, the unintelligent people simply break because the predecessors broke. The intelligent people break only when they want chutney for the dosa. This is the only difference. They are very intelligent. Today is a dosa, chutney, so we won't break it. Now the construction of the coconut itself is the construction of the human being. And how it is so, it's not similar, it's almost congruous. So beautifully fitting is incredible. Now I can't go into it because it will take me half an hour to explain. That the shell is the causal body. Out of the causal body arises the desires and attachment, the choir, and over it is the gross body, nicely suited and booted, and sitting here. Externally look beautiful, at least some of you. And the inside is all messed up with attachment and desire and jealousy and greed and all this choir coming from the causal body. And that has to be broken. And the master who understands this takes away all the desires and leaves a tuft there. And the tuft, in fact, when you go to the master, you leave aside other desires, temporarily only. You leave aside and go there, with a few desires to learn the scripture and to serve the master, etc., when you go to an ashram. And there he takes the tuft away, those desires, and you'll find 3 dots exposed in the coconut. There won't be any coconut without the 3 dots. Try it. The opening of the third eye called jnana chakshu. He opens the eye of enlightenment and breaks the coconut and brings the kernel out of you, the self, etc. I'm just giving the broad outline. So those who are interested can study. There's a book which has become the bestseller again, along with the Vedanta treatise. There are 2 books who have become the bestseller. It's not a question of bestseller. There's such a demand to know what this is all about. That his book is entitled Symbolism of Hindu Gods and Rituals. And that's also available. It's not only coconut. It explains what... There's a chapter on the yajna. 1 chapter on the yajna. You read it. So that yajna, Vyasa is the first person, sage Vyasa, who compiled the Bhagavad Gita, a Mahabharata. He impregnated a new vision into that yajna. Otherwise, people are following mechanically. Now, what he's saying is, in short, the ahuti is your effort in a field of endeavor. The kund where the fire is burnt is the field of endeavor. Each one has got a field of activity. It is your own company. It is your own institution. Even the family is a field in which you are functioning domestically. The society, the company in which you are working, the environment, the country is a field. So, if each one of us put our efforts into that field prospers and blesses us. It's a natural phenomenon. If all of us are working in a spirit of service and sacrifice, that's what it means. Other way of functioning is, what can I get out of the company? What can I get out of the society? What can I get out of the country? So are you working selfishly or in a spirit of dedication to a higher altar, which could be your institution, your organization? See, this is the field in which I am working now. This field I could work with the idea of getting something out of you or serving you. That makes the difference. So, spirit of yajna is working in a attitude of service and sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense, you are working for the cause of that particular field. As I said, it could be your corporation for which you are working, it could be your society for which you are working, it could be the country, wherever you are working. And that country or society or corporation flourishes if all of us pool our resources for a common cause. So, last World War, Japan and Germany were devastated. Completely finished. Within a few years, literally 6-7 years, Germany was rebuilt. Japan was rebuilt. Now what happened is, they realized that all the Germans had to get together to build a nation, common cause, to sink their differences and work for a common cause. The Japanese had to get together to work for a common cause. The economy shot up. America and Australia are just over 200 years old. Before, when 200 years back, they were early settlers. There was nothing in Australia, nothing in America. Nothing means nothing. So the early settlers went there and wanted to build a nation. So they all worked for a common cause. There's a mighty Australia, mighty America today. So, what is the cause that you're working for? In India, we don't have a common cause. I want to fill my pocket and you want to fill your pocket. The pocket is too big. Now what to do? There is no common interest, common cause, and therefore plans after plans are going. Don't know what's happening. We are exactly where we are. So, not commensurate with the effort that we are putting. You may say there is some development. There is no development commensurate with effort. You see the other countries. So you have to have this spirit of sacrificing your personal interest for the sake of a higher cause or an ideal. That is called yajna. So he says, if you do not work in a spirit of yajna, you are bound. Bound means you are bound by your own desires and attachments, your own vasanas. Non-yajna activities binds you to the world. You're stuck in this world. You suffer because of that bondage. But if you work for the sake of the ideal in a spirit of yajna, free from any personal attachment, the ideal grows and you grow. When Germany grew, the Germans grew. When Japan grew, Japanese grew. When America was built, the Americans grew. That's how it should be. But if you have a narrow vision, want to only help yourself, you are only bound by your own action. There's no growth. So those who work for a yajna spirit, so just look at the world. Everything works in an yajna spirit except human being. The sun rises every morning and sets every evening. Now why I'm saying that, if the sun weren't rising and setting, we will all be finished. We don't understand, and that's why Gayatri is chanted in the morning and evening, just to say good morning, good night. Thank you for coming, and thank you for going also. If you constantly stay here, we will be roasted, we will be finished. So, the sun gives vitality to all of us. Has it any personal interest? The earth gives vegetation year after year. You go on planting, it gives vegetation. Has it any personal motives? The sun shines without personal motives. The earth gives vegetation. The nightingale sings not to entertain anybody. The rose gives fragrance not to please you. It's nature. No motives. Only human beings have motives. Only human beings have seminars on stress. None of the other creatures. Try to find out what is it. So he says, you must work in a spirit of yajna. So Vyasa impregnates a new vision in that concept of fire worship. Saha yajna prajashrishva purovacha prajapati. Prajapati, the creator, having in the beginning created mankind, together with this spirit of yajna, the spirit of sacrifice. This yajna he created, when he created man, as it were. I come back to the creation business. When the man started off with this capacity to sacrifice, yajna spirit. And having created that, he said to human beings, by this yajna, by this capacity to sacrifice, may you propagate. Let this spirit of yajna, this spirit of sacrifice, be the milk cow of your desired objects. You can get what you want through sacrifice. Not through personal aggrandizement, which you're trying. I want to grab this, grab this, grab this. You can't. What you can get, everything in the world you can get by sacrifice. Find out from history what had happened to people who sacrificed. It is through renunciation, through sacrifice that you get it. Take the history of our own nation. A person like, go back to when Nehru died, Lal Bahadur Shastri is the last person who was interested in ruling this country. He was pulled from his small home that he had and planted as the Prime Minister of this country. The least person who wanted. There are other people who are aspiring. I'm talking about when Nehru died. And then came Rajiv Gandhi. He was interested in flying and doing everything else. Either he was flying planes or kites. I don't know what he was doing. So they pulled him out, planted him very reluctantly. He said he must be a politician, then you must be a minister, and then they made him a prime minister. He didn't want it. Later when he wanted, he lost it. Narasimha Rao retired, he announced his retirement. He said, thank you very much, you sir, I've been very grateful to you, I'm very grateful to you for the cooperation I received from all my workers, this, that. Bye-bye, goodbye. He said, no, goodbye. He was made a prime minister. Later on, after 5 years, he wanted to continue. They threw him out. You see the history of people. Swami Rama Teesta, one of the greatest saints this country has produced. Swami Rama Teesta, 1 in 1,000 doesn't know in India. Huh? If you ask me, one saint that the world has produced is Rama Teesta. Then, oh no, India knows. Those people, when I ask them, they say, I know, and they are quoting the wrong fellow. Swami Rama Teesta died in 1906. He did not write a book, he did not start an institution, he only lectured in America. Now what he told them, one of the famous statements of his is, the way to gain anything is to lose it. The way to gain anything is to lose it. You are after anything you don't get, leave it alone, it will follow. How many teenagers I helped? They come and complain to me, Swamiji, my, one girl was interested in me, and now she is not at all interested. She only started interest, but she is very rich. I am only middle class, but she only, fell in love. And now she doesn't even talk to me. She doesn't want me. Now, what do you want me to do? No, Swamiji, I want your help. How do you want me to help? You want to join the academy? No, I don't want to join your academy. Then what do you want from me? I only have an academy. No, academy and all that. I want that girl. Baba, I don't want that girl. I don't even know who that girl is. But get on in life. I can't. I will die. I said, die, I said. Now what can I say? Die means India needs, overpopulated. No, Swamiji, I can't even die. Mushkil. I say, what do you want me to do? Swamiji, tell me something by which I can gain her. I said, listen, you really want her? Please. Will you go and talk? No, talking and all will not help. If you follow my advice, you will get her. Tell me. He brightened up. He said, don't go to her, don't telephone her, don't have any contact with her. Then I will lose her. You said you already lost, no? Now, what do you mean you will lose her? Just don't contact her at all. Then what shall I do? 1 week later, every day the fellow is hanging around. That girl doesn't even see him. And he sees her in the window and comes away. And telephone, she doesn't answer. I said, don't telephone, don't go. Then she will drop me. He has already dropped you. This is the situation. Then what will happen? 1 week later, she will phone. Pick up the phone. What happened to you? I am very busy. Unemployed. This fellow is unemployed. You say I am very busy. Busy, eh? You'll bang the phone. Then what do I do? Drink 1 glass of cold water and keep quiet, I said. Next day again she will phone you. Did you say busy? I'm telling you I'm very, very busy. Okay, come here. What do? Don't go. You say, these 3 more days I'll be very busy. After that I will see. After that 3 days she will phone. You have not come yet? Not today, tomorrow. Go there, make it as short as possible and come back. And then she will start phoning. First you tell your folks, not available. Slowly she will come and develop this. Swamiji, it sounds all right. Are you sure this will happen? How are you so sure? I'm speaking through personal experience. Then the fellow grabbed it. And they are happily married now. So any one of you have any problem, come to me. The way to gain anything is to lose it. Chordo, you get it. Pagdo, you lose. You're pagdoing, holding on to it, you lose it. Chordo, leave it. And you will gain it. This is the way of life. That's what he's saying. Through yajna, through sacrifice, you'll gain material prosperity. The Sahayajna, he said, this Creator, having created man, said, through sacrifice you'll get everything. You'll get all your desires fulfilled, including the girl will come to you, and you will prosper. Only this method. By aggrandizing, you will not get anything. So, from the very beginning, sir, Creator created mankind is poetry. Creator did not create mankind. There is nobody, there is no creation. In the highest philosophy, this world itself is illusion. There is no creation. But it is a poetic way of saying. And people have highlighted this. See how the Creator created, and the best people he created is our Indians. Right? The Swamis are going about saying, so when he created, first of all, Creator created mankind, he had no experience. So he put the mold in the oven for creation, like pot making, he made. Because he did not have the experience, all came out jet black. He was not at all satisfied. He sent them all to Africa. It's too black. And they said, this is not what I wanted, Creator. Then he turned the knob the other side. Too much. All were white. These are the Europeans, Americans, English fellows. He was not satisfied. Too white. Then he put it in the center, molded properly. And those are our Indians. There is no such creation, no nothing. What it means is, from the very beginning, a human being alone had the capacity to sacrifice. That was given as a gift. What is that capacity to sacrifice? When you open the door, you say, après vous, after you. We don't know that language in India. After you, we jump on top of the other and go. But the general courtesy we open, that a human being is capable of, open, after you, after you. You understand? This is capable. But no, if first bowl of food comes to the dog, if there are two dogs in the house, the first dog will not say, after you. It will not say, bam. They will be playing, joking, playing that. When food comes, myself, it will push aside. They are not capable of that. Only human beings are capable after you. After. That capacity of sacrifice. If you are practicing this in life, you will achieve anything in the world. Te deva You nourish the gods with this sacrifice, and may the gods nourish you. You see, when he's talking about the yajna, you give the ahudi to the gods, and the gods will nourish you. He's still following the pattern of the yajna, that ritual. So, you nourish the gods, and the gods will nourish you. Thus, nourishing one another, you shall attain the supreme good. You will prosper. You will attain the best. So you nourish the gods, not yourself. What are the gods? Ideal. You nourish your company. You will grow in your company. You nourish the country. You will grow. The country will grow. You will grow. You nourish yourself. Nothing will happen. It's a question of time. You lose everything. So you nourish the gods, and thus nourishing one another, you shall attain Param Shreya, the supreme good. You attain the supreme good. So, if you carefully analyze in the question, in the second verse, Arjuna asked them, Tadekam vadanischitya yena shreho papniyam. How do I get that shreya? This shreya you get by nourishing each other. You must sacrifice. If I want to prosper in any way, mentally and materially, I must serve the people. Not find out how best I can use you for my benefit. I must sacrifice my physical, mental, intellectual faculties in the promotion of your welfare. Loka sangraha. So once you do that, he says, the gods, when he says, there's another problem. Gods, in Hinduism, there are hundreds of gods. Now you do not know which to choose. Only convenience is you get fed up with one, you can pick up another. So you can't do in other religions. So we have like a buffet, One day you fed up this Vishnu is a fellow, he doesn't give anything. Go to Shiva. At least he can destroy our competitors. See that? So you want to build a house, you worship Brahma, creator. Now, this sort of a gods has confused people. Most people are not confused there because they don't think. You get confused only when you think. So, first of all, you must, this again is explained in the symbolism of Hindu gods and that book. if you read the introduction part only, 4-5 pages introduction, in the introduction is explained that Hinduism is not polytheistic. There are not many gods, there's only one God, and one God is Brahman. All others are expressions of God. Just as there's one sun, there are a million reflections. Reflections are many, but there's only one sun. Similarly, there's one Brahman, one God. Even in the Christian faith, they say one God. What do you mean by one God? Is it Christ? Is it the Holy Ghost? Or is it the Father in heaven? 3. They can't discard anything. Okay, I'll follow Christ, but I don't care about the Father in heaven. No. You better worship Father in heaven also. Okay, I'll worship Father in heaven, I don't care for Christ. No. Okay, Father in heaven and Son, but Holy Ghost I don't want. No. The 3. But, in fact, there's only one God, which Christ himself says, that's the Father in heaven. So, in Islam it is Allah. In Hinduism it is Brahman. In Christianity it is Father in heaven, one God. But expressions are many. So what these great men in this country did is, to lead a spiritual life, you are asked to pluck your mind from the world and divert it to God. Nobody wants to do that. They are involved in the material and sensual activities. You are more concerned about, now what is your concern? Your business, your profit and loss, your children, now grandchildren. This is your interest and involvement. To ask you to leave the thought of your grandchildren and children and business and profit and loss and think of God, nobody will do it. It's an impossible thing. So therefore, everywhere it has failed. But still in this country there is religiosity, because what these ingenious people, the sages, did is, they found out where your mind is going. The mind is going to money. Okay, money is goddess Lakshmi. And the fellow prays day and night on Lakshmi, only to get money. If you go to Singapore, some of these traders go there. I am with them. That's the only time I pray with them. Because 20 minutes that fellow is praying before he starts his business. I also sit down and pray for his prosperity. So, Lakshmi, they are praying to Lakshmi because they want money. Somebody is interested in art, in music or knowledge. Saraswati. You worship Saraswati. So wherever your minds went in the external world, in the terrestrial world, they planted gods and goddesses. You can't escape divinity. Even diseases have been deified. So that is how they've done this. These are called gods, plural. Money is Saraswati is one goddess. Lakshmi is another goddess, Hanuman is one goddess, each one has got an ideal, that's all. So you nourish these gods, not Brahman, and the gods, that particular god will bless you. How do you do that? With this thing, with the spirit of sacrifice. Now, even when you go to the gods, you are asking for personal favors. Now, you will not get it, but if you work in that spirit of sacrifice, which the Germans did, which the Japanese did, it blesses them. They are following this principle and we are preaching. So, you nourish the gods and may the gods nourish you. Thus nourishing one another, you may attain supreme good. Now friends, very, very interesting thing has happened here. Is Krishna is the Prajapati. He has reached the state of enlightenment. Now he is talking about the ultimate. that Supreme God, as it were, when He created mankind, He gave this gift to mankind. And therefore, in old Sanskrit, Vaidikam it is called, in old Sanskrit he says, Anena prasavishadvam esavo svishta kama duk. In the previous verse, he said, he quoted the Prajapati in old Sanskrit. He says, by this may you be blessed. So when he quoted that, for a moment he slipped into that frequency. It's all dramatized. It's all dramatized. Not that Krishna can slip. He slipped into that frequency, and therefore he emphatically tells Arjuna now, you nourish the gods and the gods will nourish you. Thus nourishing each other, may you attain prosperity. Arjuna looked at him because he is declaring like the Prajapati. For a moment, he as it were forgot that he was talking to a friend. He has assumed his Vishwarupa, as it were, and he's saying, I am telling you, you do this and you will prosper. Arjuna says, who are you, man? Okay, you said Prajapati, I understand. Now suddenly you are, because the very next verse he says, he puts down in third person, if a person does that, he will get this. Same thing. Same idea 10, same idea 11, same idea 12. First part of 12 he says, in third person, if one does this, he will get the desired objects. Now we'll go to that now. So therefore, for a moment he forgot. He said, to cite an example, the chairman of Liver Brothers wants to know what is happening in the market. His, goods, cosmetics and other things which are sold, his soaps or whatever. So he goes to the market, interior market, and tells his salesman, you just tell them another salesman is coming, inspection like, and don't tell them that I have the chairman coming. So when he goes to the market, he says, and the market fellows are bitterly complaining, you company fellows, you are saying this, you don't give us enough margin is not there, what sales you can get, and he is bitterly complaining. He says, don't worry, you will get a better margin. Arey, listen, I have heard this for 25 years. Every fellow comes and says, you will get, you will get, you will get. Where are we going to get? Suddenly he forgets that he is the chairman. That he is ordinary fellow. He says, I am telling you, because he has signed the papers. I am telling you, you will get it by next week. Arey, every fellow has said. See, he suddenly assumes, because he is the chairman, he has signed the papers. Similarly, he is an enlightened person. Krishna is telling him, Prajapati, he did it this way. And suddenly he gets into that frequency and says, I am telling you, you do this and you will get it. And therefore, he changes the tone in the very next verse. Verily, now you see, in its simple future, the tense is simple future. Dasyante, will give. Verily, the gods that are nourished by sacrifice will give you the desired enjoyments. Full stop. So the tone in the 10th verse is, Prajapati has declared in the past he will give the benefits to people who function in a spirit of sacrifice. He quoted the Prajapati, the creator. Then he gets into that frequency, he said, I am telling you, do this, you'll get it. Arjuna could not take that because who is this man telling? Therefore he says, anybody who nourishes the gods by sacrifice, he will get the desired objects. Simple, he closes it. Then he gets into here, he who enjoys, it's a different thought altogether now. He who enjoys what is given by them without having offered to them is indeed a thief. If you take from the society, a very powerful statement made here for the benefit of all of us. He says, any one of you who take from the society without offering, without producing, if you eat without producing, you are a thief. Stena eva saha. No less a person than Krishna saying. Now what are we interested in? Anything free. Anything free we want. If you find in the mail free, tear it. If you are overcharged, grab it. This free business has destroyed people. How can you expect to get from, enjoy from the society without paying for it? So he who eats without producing, stena eva saha, he is like a thief. Horace Greeley, one of the great thinkers, Horace Greeley says, the darkest hour of life is when you plan to get anything without earning it. The darkest hour of life is when you plan to get anything without earning it. You want to get something from the society, you better pay. So, such a person is the worst type of people, what they call as tamasic fellow. Now he talks about the higher types of people in 13th verse. Te tvagam papaha e pachantyatmakharanat. These are the tamasic, worst type of people. The rajasic people who are slightly better, who the righteous, who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all sins. This is the highest quality, sattvic. The next is, but the sinners who cook their own, for their own sake, eat sin. Atma karanat pachanti. Pachanti means cooks. Atma karanat, for their own personal benefit. One who cooks for oneself only. He says, that means self-centered people. If anybody works in this field only with self-centeredness, what will I get? What will I get? It's not what you do in society that matters. It's how you do it. Now, I may be preaching the scriptures with the sole intention of personal benefit. Or you may be doing business or trade in the interest of the society. Now, is this noble or that noble is the question. So anybody who does it for himself, atma karanat, for selfish reasons, eats sin. Sin means agitation. He will be always agitated. I keep asking you, when you hit the pillow, you must fall off to sleep in 20 seconds. And if you bargain, I'll give you 10 more seconds. 30 seconds, if you don't fall off to sleep, there's something radically wrong with you. Don't go to a psychiatrist because he doesn't sleep. Nobody sleeps. Mentally agitated you'll become. It's because Atma Karanat, everything you function, what can I get out of the society? And therefore, by the time you are 45, 50, your blood pressure, blood sugar, everything is bloody about you. Then you have a bypass. Even then you don't understand there's something wrong with you. Even if you have a bypass, what are the people doing in Bombay? I suppose they're doing the same thing here. They've started a bypass club. Even that is glorified. There's a president, there's a secretary, there's a treasurer. Bypass club. They asked me, Swamiji, would you like to join? I have not yet become a bypass. Oh, they went away. They thought definitely 78, this fellow must have had a bypass. So, Atma Karanat, if you function only for yourself, you may acquire, but you can never enjoy. You can never enjoy. I'm all the time with the business fellows. They invite me to a meal, and I'm sitting in the balcony, and he's invited me for a meal, and he says, Swamiji, if you come early, we'll see the sunset. Beautiful balcony overlooking the sea in the 25th floor. I'm sitting there with a pot of tea. One side I'm sitting, there's another fellow sitting the other side. But the main man has not come. So the wife keeps saying, he's coming, he's got held up. Held up with what? In the office. Held up, Swami. Every 15 minutes running commentary is going on. He's coming. I said, Amma, don't worry, let him come. Sunset, and the sun has come, moon has come up, and he's still not come up. Moon is shining brightly. Swamiji, I'm very, very sorry, Swamiji. It's a perfect order. I'm enjoying this. I thoroughly enjoy it. A cup of tea, sunset is there, and only two people enjoy. He is earning, acquiring. Two people are enjoying. One side of the teapot is myself, Swami. The other side is the son-in-law, unemployed. Only two people enjoy. He acquires, Swamis and son-in-laws. And invariably that fellow is unemployed. Now, what I'm trying to say, Atma Karanat, fools build houses, wise live in it. It's not my statement. Fools build houses, wise. You build an empire, for what? I'm not saying you should not. But that Atma Karanat, for selfish reasons, such people eat sin, means they're all the time agitated. It's a poetic way of saying all the time you're agitated. The sattvic fellows, the real fellows, they eat only remnants of sacrifice, whatever is left behind. They sacrifice, like when the remnants of sacrifice, the vibhuti, they offer that as a vibhuti is that ash distributed, symbolic. So whatever is left over, they share. So the sattvic person, the highest quality, they eat the remnants of sacrifice. Such people are freed from vasanas, desires. They evolve. As long as you work in a spirit of service and sacrifice, you evolve. And if you work in a selfish attitude, you only be agitated and suffer in this world.
Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha yajñād bhavati parjanyaha yajñah karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam.
14 and 15 together gives an agricultural metaphor. It has a special technical import. Now what he's saying is, the agricultural metaphor is from Brahman. Brahman, the Supreme, everything arises from the Supreme God. There is a creator, Brahma, Lord Brahma arose, out of which action arose from Brahma. When action is purified, it becomes yajna. When you perform yajna, there is rain. I'm only giving the order in which he is saying. Rain, from yajna comes rain, from rain comes food, food comes beings. This is the hierarchy. Sir, there is a very strong belief. I'm not going into the what that belief is, whether it is true or not, but I'm only telling you the prevailing belief which he's talking about, again a ritual, the concept, that when you perform yajna, sacrifice, in a big way, there will be rain. So when there is no rain, you must have remembered, even here, they bring pandits, priests from all over the country and have a yajna. And amazingly, something happens. The rain comes, and they believe that there will be rain coming. Whether it comes or not, there is a firm belief in this country. In Sri Lanka also, the Hindu priests were all brought from India, all over the place. There was a drought, and they claimed that the rain came. So this is what he's talking about, the general belief. So from Brahma, the Creator created action. When action is purified in the form of a yajna, if it is purified, perfect action, there is, out of this ritual comes rain, rain comes food, and beings prosper. This is the hierarchy. Now the significance of that is important. This is an age-old belief. The significance is everything arises from Brahman, the Supreme Brahman, and out of which this world of action arises. And in this action, when the action is performed in a spirit of service and sacrifice, which he calls as yajna, when sacrificial actions take place, there is rain, means right atmosphere, right attitude for products to come. And when there are products, there is life, beings. Sir, what he's saying is, as a gospel, in a factory, in any industry, one side is the raw material. The other side is the finished products. What happens in the factory is, in the machinery, people are all working. The people are all working there. The engineers, the supervisors, the workers, they're all working. If each one works selfishly, not in the interest of the company, the products will not be of a high quality. In fact, the products may not come at all. They may start striking even. But if each member works in a spirit of sacrifice and service to the company, they are interested in the growth of the company. This is called yajna spirit. Then there will be the right atmosphere in that industry to get the best products. Common sense. Employer-employee relationships, all these trade unions we are talking about, what is the right atmosphere? When everybody works in an industry, raw products come. When the people are working in a spirit of service and sacrifice for the sake of the company, products will be beautiful. And when products are produced by the companies, there will be beautiful life. There is life. We say in a village, things appears, there's no life in the villages because there are no products. There's no production. So when there is production, there will be life. So that's all he's saying. Therefore, whole thing revolves under yajna, the spirit of sacrifice. From the Brahman, the spirit of sacrifice brings the products, beings, and the beings, when they live in a spirit of sacrifice, they reach Brahman. So therefore, everything rests, he says, in yajna, in the spirit of yajna. It is nothing but working unselfishly in an organization or an institution. I gave the example of Germany and Japan so that you understand how it works. If all of us put our resources for the benefit of the country, this country will shoot up. But if all of us work with personal aggrandizement, each one is self-centered, there will not be produce and there won't be life. There won't be prosperity. he who does not follow this wheel thus set in motion, living in vain and rejoicing in the senses, living in sin and rejoicing in the senses, lives in vain, O Partha Arjuna. Arjuna, if you do not follow this, he's talking about this wheel, how you have to work through the spirit of service and sacrifice, spirit of yajna. If you do not follow this spirit, this wheel, you will be crushed by this own wheel, by your own action. In other words, if you don't act properly, you will be punished not for the action, but by the action. Your own action will punish you. If you put your finger in the fire, that action itself will punish you. It's not that you put the finger and somebody punishes you for that. The action itself will punish you. So if you do not work in a spirit of yajna, which I have explained to you, this wheel set in motion, anybody who does not follow, he lives in sin, means he's constantly agitated and worried and anxious. He develops all sorts of problems. Why does he do that? Indriya Rama, for immediate pleasures. People want immediate pleasures. And that is happening in the Western countries. He wants immediate pleasures. When you go to the Western countries, you can enjoy almost everything which you enjoy later in life. Here, you enjoy at 40, 45, you own a house, you own a car, maybe you have a certain freedom and certain prosperity, which you don't start with. But there, everybody starts with everything. Every fellow, before he joined the first company, a fellow got a house, he's got a beautiful furniture, a beautiful car, everything is got. How? Hire purchase. You understand? Nothing belongs to him throughout the life. You see, the house that he is living belongs to somebody, a hire purchase. Furniture, I am very scared to sleep in somebody's house there because the cot is hired. In the middle of the night, if he has not paid the premium, they'll take it away. Now, what happens to me? Everything is hired. The house is hired, the furniture is hired, car is hired. Many times, families also are hired. Nothing is permanent there. Immediate. Indriya Ramaha. They want immediate pleasure. They don't have that patience. They don't have that tolerance, what is called as titiksha. We have this wonderful quality in this country, titiksha, the capacity to put up with difficulties with pleasure until you are able to afford that. No, before you can afford that, you put everything in it. And what a tension, live in sin. And a fellow loses his job for 2-3 months, it is torture because everything will be pulled out. Even the clothes he won't have to wear. Now what you do? Because clothes also are hired, everything is hired. So therefore, you live on immediate pleasures. This is aghayu, living in vain. Living in sin, and moham in vain. What is this all for? Ultimately, the purpose of life is not met. And therefore, he says, he who does not follow this principle of yajna, he uses the word poetically, wheel of action, set in motion. He lives agitated, sin, constantly worrying about paying. Whole lifetime they're paying debts. Everything is indebted. Because he wants to rejoice, he wants to get immediate pleasure. He doesn't have the knowledge to wait and convert into greater joy later on. So, in one hand, I bring a bar of chocolate, a candy. In another hand, I bring a lakh of rupees, okay, a bundle of 1 lakh. So if I bring it to your child, very small child, on the birthday and says, baby, whatever you want, you pick. Chocolate one side and a lakh of rupees, notes on the other side. The child looks at the chocolate, looks at this thing. This is paper, uninteresting. This is chocolate. It goes. It reaches the chocolate. The mother is at the back. The mother of the child is at the back. The child doesn't understand. Looking at the mother, looking at because I know from the signal the child is looking. He says, why is the mother asking me to go straight, grabs the chocolate? If I come on your birthday with these two, what will you grab? Don't answer me. First of all, I will not come. Don't send letters for your birthday. I don't do this sort of thing. So, why? Because the child is ignorant. He doesn't understand that this can give greater joy all the lifetime. You grab immediate pleasure. Indriya Ramaha. You are interested in immediate pleasures and then suffer. You grab all these pleasures and lifetime you are paying and paying and paying. He who does not understand this principle of service and sacrifice, he lives in sin constantly. Sin means agitation and a vainful life. Now it talks of an ideal person, a perfected individual, the man who rejoices in the self, satisfied in the self, and content in the self. Tushtihi, truptihi, ratihi. All three mean the same. A person who is satisfied, who is gratified, who is contented, who is delighted in the self, 3 times. Alone, for him there is nothing to be done. What he means is, 3 times he is talking because of the contrast. The lay person, all of you, are finding pleasure or happiness through 3 avenues. Physical, through the body you gain physical pleasures. Through the mind you are seeking emotional joys. Through the intellect you are finding intellectual satisfaction. So here you are. All the time you are pursuing these 3 avenues of pleasure, joy, happiness. Through the body, through the mind, through the intellect. Now instead, if you are perfected, you will focus yourself on the self and gain the pleasure within you. You don't have to depend upon the external world for your pleasure or happiness. Nothing in the world can give you pleasure and happiness. It is the way you relate to it. Cigarette being the same produces pleasure to one, pain to another. A lady is divorced by one, the same lady another person is waiting to marry her. The lady being the same produces joy to one, sorrow to another. Cigarette being the same produces pleasure to one, pain to another. So it is not in the cigarette, it is not in the lady, it is not in the world, it is how you contact the world. The whole Vedantic philosophy explains to you how to relate to the world. And once you know how to relate to the world, you find peace and happiness within you. You must be finding satisfaction in the self. You don't have to repeat 3 times because you're going 3 times through this. All the 3 avenues is useless. You've got to find the self within you. author Schopenhauer, the great philosopher, German philosopher, he says, I'm quoting him, it is difficult to find happiness within oneself. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. But all of you are trying to find it anywhere else, through the body, through the mind, through the intellect. It's a question of time. Indriya Rama, immediate pleasures are there, but what is in stock is sorrow. You must learn that art of finding the pleasure within you. To try and share and love and understand people. This life of self-centered, what is talking about yajna is to give, to sacrifice. Sir, recently, when I talked about the philosophy, nobody understands. So now I've started some gimmicks, I'm telling you frankly. So I have started with my own students and my acquaintances, close acquaintances. Now if I ask you to work in a spirit of yajna, now what yajna? You will only start fire worship and create carbon dioxide. Now what is this yajna? So what I've recently, now this is going on for the last 6 months, and these fantastic results it has produced. Now what I'm doing now is, I took few students of mine. We needed a fan, a tower fan, standing. Went to the shop. I said, "Kitna hai? Kya? How much is it?" He said, he doesn't even look at me. In Bombay, the business is so much, the fellow doesn't even care, He, 2,400, aapki 2,300, as if he's my brother-in-law, Everybody says the same thing. 2,300. He said 2,300. For you, 2,200. For you means what? No, I can't argue with that fellow. For you. I said, listen, do you bargain? Bargain nahi hai kai? Bargain nahi hai. 2,200. Go, he said. I told my children, the students, come away, let's go. 3 people with me. I went away. He sent his 2 salesmen. So he thought the 2 fellows running. He said, kya karta hai? Saap bol raha tha. No, bargain. How no? Kya? What do you want? He said. I told you, 2,300. For you, 2,200. No. I want my price given. Kya price hai? 100 rupees less. No, hamara price. Kya? Bolo. He thought another 50 rupees. Obviously he is prepared to give another 50 rupees. So I said, listen, ek hi price, huh? Acha, bolo. 2,500. Nahi, saab. Nahi. And then he felt relieved. 2,300 the price. He thought somebody come from a different planet. Buddhu fellow. 2,300 the price hai. Aap pe 2,200. Nahi. 2 salesmen came and said, Sir, master, what he's saying is, fan hai na? 2,200 you give. Fan yours. No. Sir, you give whatever you want, you take the fan, he said. No, ek hi price, huh? I give 2,500. Fan hamara. Sir, you give whatever you want. He is not, they're all tension, So I told my boys, pick it up. 2,000 and tension for him. I don't know whether, at least 200 if he gets, he'll be happy. 2,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Sure, take the 500. We'll go. All the three fellows watched us, full corridor till we got into the car. Because they're totally confused. They don't know what is happening. Do you understand? Huh? We were coming in the train, the whole cricket team and all, we were about 20 people in the train. One fellow came to, what is that? A laser pointer. Sir, laser pointer, laser pointer. We were all talking and said, yeah, sir, laser pointer. Acha hai, acha hai. Kitna hai? 70 rupees, sir. Acha, bolo. 90 rupees. 90 rupees? No, sir. 70 rupees. 65, chalo. 90 rupees. He didn't understand. So we gave 90 rupees and took one. You know what he did? He took another one, said, chalo, have one more. He gave one more, 2. So when we got down in Bangalore, I gave both the things. I said, I don't need laser print. He said, please sell again, I said. The fellow was looking at us. Now why I'm telling you is, suppose you say, Sahayagna praja shishtva puro vacha, spirit of sacrifice, nothing will enter. Now when you buy vegetables, give a little more. If you add all that extra, especially fellows are well-to-do, does it matter at all? What amount of... You are getting blood pressure out of that. Bargaining. And you play the hospital 100 times, 2,000 times more. Simply give. That's what he's saying. Simply give. A fellow asked, so students, I saw one fellow in the railway station. Kitna is a banana? Banana is a dozen kitna? 22 rupees or something. He said, chalo yaar, take 25. And he came, as if he is a Maharaja, give 25. If you collect all that extra that you pay, what is its pittance? Believe me, nothing at all. The pleasure you'll get, the joy you'll get, your blood pressure will be maintained. And then what you're creating is a society. Instantly, why I'm telling you, that fellow instantly gave another one. He said, chalo, keep it, he said. That fellow was selling the fan, ultimately he said, pay whatever you want, you take it, he said. See, you must develop that atmosphere. If all of us practice that, this was the golden era in this country. The fighting was, they were saying, you pay less. No. The fellow buyer saying, I will pay more. This was the fight. You see the difference? At least 10 people follow this, Bangalore will be changed. Now we're starting this gimmick. Pay more. Nothing will happen. Now what will happen to the money? Anyway it's going, Let it go for a better cause. Sahayagna praja srishtva puro vacha. This capacity he has given from the very beginning. May you do this, it will be a kamadhenu. Kamadhenu means a cow is a mythological cow which is supposed to give everything that you want. Don't ask me the address of the cow. If I knew the address, I will not be sitting here. You understand? The cow is a proverbial mythological cow which gives everything. That cow is the capacity to sacrifice. Cholo, give. Nothing will happen. You see? The more you give, the more you gain. The way to gain anything is to leave it. To lose it. You lose it, you get it. The idea is that capacity to give, you must gain. I don't know how to put it in. That's why I'm giving you various stories. I've got like that. I'm giving 1 or 2 stories I remembered just now. But there are 100 instances like that, not 1 or 2. Everywhere we go, we practice that. There's no use preaching high philosophy when you don't practice these little things. And society, the employees that we have in our ashram, extremely sacrificial. The employees. Because we have been wanting to serve them and serve them and serve them. They're suffocated with service. They want to serve. They want to serve you, serve everybody. That is atmosphere. Now you start a company, you want to grab from that, squeeze from that. Give them. I'm not talking about unintelligent charity. I'm trying to educate the people in such a way that there's an atmosphere of giving rather than taking. We'll continue tomorrow.